Shalom. Kal halal Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone that rule well and labor in this word and doctrine. Shalom to the hopeful elect, scattered across the whole four corners, waiting on deliverance from Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. Now this is a video from the brother of GMS Judah's Raw from the Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica camp. I believe the brother's name is Yahawah, I believe so, Salaki if I'm mistaken. But this is really the video that I watched that showed me the let's find it. There you are, this article, which is what I did a video on, and it was really based off the brother's video, and I couldn't find it at first, but I went back and I found it, and I commented because I was confounded about this whole anon thing. Correct? Because in my video, right, look, the brother's done a video there, but in my video I didn't mention anything about that conspiracy. I didn't mention anything about the elite really. All I said was that Elon Musk is not the richest guy in the world, innit? And then you've got, well, let's just read it. So I commented, Revelation 12:12, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. I said, Shalom, edifying lesson, Shabbatia, meaning my tribe, because I perceive he's of my tribe. I could be mistaken again, but that's to my knowledge. It says, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, barakatha, meaning blessings. And then I said I was inspired to make a video on the same article, and he has branded it as, I'm not going to say it because I'll try put a damn thing under, and that's a perfect excuse for them to start taking down the videos, giving strikes. As I said, I've not got any strikes yet, but I can see this being used again is an excellent excuse on their part to carry on with their agenda, man. So well done E. You're doing a fine sterling job on the left hand side. And he said, Shalom Achia, Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi, bahasham Rucha Kodash Barakatha. He said the Zakwan, meaning the elder, Chazak or Chazak. Yahawashi is coming back, did a video regarding this BS being put on the videos, and I watched that video as well. Edifying video, check that. Obviously, he said Yahawashi is coming back. That's the brother's channel, or that's Salaki, that's the elder's channel. So go and check that. He said, I've noticed E been making a heavy push towards demonetizing this anonymous thing on his mainstream media. And then he posted a link, and this is what I want to get into, man. Yahawah said, this is perfect, man. Okay? This is perfect, man. And we should be rejoicing, man, as it's written. Rejoice, because people will say, well, you're not supposed to haste the day, it's wicked or whatever. Because they'll say, woe unto you that desire the day. Well, I think it's Isaiah chapter 5 and 19, or Isaiah chapter 8 and 19. Lord willing, I'll grab it in this video. Salaki if I haven't. But it talks about how the ones that are, they've got sin cast all around about them, and they're desiring it. Well, yeah, it is woe unto you, because it's not going to be a day of salvation or a day of light, but rather a day of darkness. Now, Paul said he desired for Israel to be saved. So that's talking about a literal physical deliverance from Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. So it's not wicked. Peter talked about, well, what's the title of this year? What is the title of this year? The year of looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. That is what it's been titled from Elder Apostle Taha. So is that wicked what Peter said? Is that wicked to hasten the day? All of these were talking about desiring. You can say desiring if you want, hasting the day. We desire deliverance. Is that wicked? To desire and not want to live in this captivity another 50, 100, 3 million years or whatever. Well, it's not wicked. That's it on that. And there's also one more thing I wanted to say. Yeah, rejoice. Well, why would you rejoice if no one's meant to look for deliverance? Why are you rejoicing when the persecution pops off? And there's a lot of scriptures that talk about how your tribulation worketh patience, and to rather rejoice in that day when you're buffeted. Anyway, it said the brothers posted a video link, and he said, from this video I believe they're building their case for more social media censorship and control. Right, so we'll get into that video, Lord willing. My response to that was, Thawada, beloved, piecing the puzzle together. Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, barakatha, malak. Stay up. He had a short time. For he doth. So I think I'm actually going to download the video, put it in between this, and we'll go from there. Shalom.
So I'm joined, Linka is here. Linka is a former QAnon follower who doesn't follow QAnon before. So Linka, you told the New York Times that Trump used us and our fear. That's a quote from you. Now people caught up in the insurrection at the Capitol are saying that they were coaxed and used by the president and using it as a legal defense. You think that is fair for them to use as a legal defense to blame the former president?
I think that I think there's a lot of people who are culpable, including Donald Trump, in my personal opinion. I think that Donald Trump was clever enough to know that this whole conspiracy world was agitating people and really triggering their senses, and that in his own way he could manipulate them as well. Yeah.
So I want to ask you about, because the whole, the election was rigged thing that was the whole impetus for the insurrection on Capitol Hill. And you've made the same claim about the Democrats. But what the Democrats did between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders was the way the democratic process works. It wasn't stolen from Bernie Sanders. That's how it works. So how did you view that how did you come disillusioned by that?
Well, even though it wasn't illegal on paper to rig an election and, work with the media to sort of sway public opinion towards one candidate over another, it still upset us. It really angered us. I mean, this was our Democratic Party, and we were Democrats being treated this way. And it wasn't acknowledged, and it wasn't rectified. And as a matter of fact, we ultimately ended up getting blamed for Hillary Clinton losing. So, right there, we're an angry group of people who are just seeking justice. And I guess you could say, like anybody with a passion and a little bit of anger, you can become a target to these conspiracies. They're very insidious. You can look at people who are normally anti-vaxxers, who are very, cautious of pharmaceutical companies. And once they start following the breadcrumbs of social media, all of a sudden they're believing in these conspiracies that Bill Gates is putting, some kind of trackers in the vaccines. And so these are very reasonable people, intelligent people that are succumbing to this.
It just seems that it seems that there are people who may be more prone to believe conspiracies, because I hear your argument on the left about Bernie Sanders, again, is the mirror of the argument that led to the insurrection on Capitol Hill. So could it be perhaps that there are just people like yourself who are prone to conspiracy theories regardless of what side of the aisle they're on? Because I'm sure people won't be able to see how you went from Bernie Sanders in the Democratic Party to Donald Trump and QAnon in the Republican Party. It's just too far of a swing on the pendulum. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. And see, that's where I said there's so many different pieces, because now we can talk about social media and the algorithms. So as soon as you click or like or share on a video or a link or what have you that might have some basis in conspiracy or some agenda, by the end of the week, your entire news feed is filled with very similar material.
Do you think there should so what I'm hearing you're saying is social media plays a big role in this. Do you think that there should be more fact-checking and more guarding of the platform on social media than just a sort of a free-for-all for everyone to be able to go on there and say whatever it is that they want to say?
Well, if that were possible, I know that I was studying how social media works through documentaries like The Social Dilemma, and it seems like it's kind of a monster that's out of control at this point. And, I don't know how people can step aside and do some fact-checking now. They just want information so quickly.
Hey, Linka.
And when you log on to your social media, it's just all right there. It keeps coming at you.
So, Linka, I have to go, but do you think that, do you blame social media in any way? Do you think that it helped in some way to...
Absolutely.
To groom you and to change? Okay. Linka.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. That fascinating conversation. I wish I had more time to talk about it. Be well. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Shalom. Kal halal Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, bahasham Rucha Kodash. So this is the video from Elder Chazak. It's called Ears Exposed on All Levels. It's over. And it is, man. Right, I want to clarify this video that initially sparked my interest in the topic was this. I never mentioned anything about this, man. Nothing about this so-called conspiracy. But again, they're trying to link it in. They're trying to blame us and try to link us into that. And you might have how you had the former and none. And I've realized me trying to say that in the beginning and not say the word. Well, I'm about to put a 5-minute video and literally a mainstream news article going into that. So anyway, so them going into whatever they call it, and they're going to try and link Israel up into it. And what I was about to say, they might have a former Israelite, an Israelite that's just bugged out now, and say, I was spiritually molested by the black Hebrew Israelites, and start trying to paint slander on that angle, or just link us into everything else. But the way that they're pushing from that woman's angle and her narrative was that, well, it's the social media algorithms. It's not like she could have said not interested, like you can right click if you go on the homepage on YouTube, right click on not interested, or I don't want to see this, or something like that, and it'll get rid of it. So she's trying to blame it on social media, which, how we see it, is going to lead to the famine of the word, because anything talking about this truth will be linked into conspiracy theory this and medical misinformation that. And as I'm saying, I'm surprised I've not got a strike yet, man, but it looks like a precursor or something that you can sort of use to say, well, look, they've gone off on this, they're spreading hateful messages or whatever they're trying to say in it. But anyway, let's get the script. So as we said, we've got nothing to do with that movement. And just real quick before we get a script, nothing to do with that movement, but because you're a devil, yeah, because you're a diabolos, you won't admit that, and you try to lump it all in one thing, and there you are. So it says devil, Old English diaphol, a subordinate evil spirit afflicting humans. Also in Christian theology, the devil, a powerful spirit of evil, otherwise known as Satan, from late Latin diabolos, also the source of Italian diavolo, French diable, Spanish diablo, and here we are. So the late Latin word is from ecclesiastical Greek diabolos, which in Jewish and Christian, meaning so-called Old Testament, so-called New Testament, Israelite scriptures, use was the devil Satan, and which in general use meant accuser, slanderer. And that's what you're doing, you're accusing and slandering the ministry to try and link it up to conspiracy, whatever and whatever. Now, is there a group of people that were conglomerate with Jeffrey Epstein? Is there other people that were involved with that, or is it just one man and it's just sort of what do you call it, an isolated incident? Or is there people that were protecting him, people that were around him, people that were buddy with him? It says, we'll just skip down here. Here's an agent noun from Greek diabelen, to slander, attack, literally to throw across. And that's what you're doing, you're throwing across accusations towards the ministry. So let's get this word in the Greek. Let's see what we can draw from it. So slanderous, backbiting. Let's see if it gives us the usage. We'll have to pull it properly. Here you are, diabolos. Diabolical. Probably where that comes from as well. It says prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely. A calumniator, false, I don't know what that means. False accuser, slanderer, metaph. Applied to a man who, by opposing the cause of, it says God, may be said to act the power of the devil or to side with him. Right, just as the beast man who's working is after Hashatan. 2 Thessalonians 2, and we'll start at 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. So Israel had to go off in order for Hamashiach Yahawashi to come back, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So this Esau also had to get exposed before Yahawashi comes back, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called Yahawah, or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, or as halalyam, sitteth in the temple of halalyam, showing himself that he is Allah, he is God. So people say there's going to be this temple and this guy's going to come and sit down and he's going to prove that he is the Lord. Well, this is, or that he's going to try and prove that he is. But this says that he sitteth in the temple, so that's literal, isn't it? That's what you'd say. Shewing himself that he is God. So you'd have to say, well, this so-called Antichrist, or however the so-called Christian theologians and scholars go into it, that this guy literally is the Most High. That's what you'd have to end up saying, because this is how it's talking. We know it's spiritual. In terms of on the left hand, it's talking about a man who's working, is after Hashatan. It says, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And he will be taken out of the way, according to the book of Obadiah. That's after he's served a punishment upon, well, in the kingdom. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. I think there's something in, I want to say Nahum 5 or 6. There isn't a 5 or 6, so it can't be that. Let's try Amos 6. It was brought out yesterday. I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me try to find that. Right, so this is talking about Ephraim and Judah, but now this can be applied to Esau today. Why is that? Because Deuteronomy 13:7 talks about how the curses will be poured upon our enemies, our Hashatan, our adversaries that have been afflicting us. So Hosea 6:5, therefore have I hewed them by the prophets, I have slain them by the words of my mouth, and thy judgments are as the light that goeth forth. And that's talking about upon Israel, and that's whom the Lord loveth and chasteneth. Now there's not going to be, it's not because he loves Esau, because Romans 9:13 is common milk in Israel, even though some buck up against it still. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What should we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? You wacky-tacky Christians? Because the Lord hates? Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi forbid. Alright, there's not unrighteousness, because he's the metric of righteousness. Like, oh, well, that doesn't seem very righteous to me. Well, yeah, because your heart is deceitful. Why is your heart deceitful? Because you're going off your own understanding. You're not cleaving unto the Lord. You're not serving him with all your heart. So your heart is deceitful. So 2 Thessalonians 2. 2 Thessalonians 2:7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And every eye shall see him. That's talking about Yahawashi, how every eye will see him. They also which pierced him. Now literally it was who pierced him, literally who pierced him spiritually. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned, who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Okay? And we will hit, well, we're going to the word slanderer now, or devil, which is diabolos. Diabolos, let's hear him say it.
Strong's G 1228.
Diabolos. It says, prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely. I've read that. That's why we went to that. Because it said metaphor applied to a man, even that man of sin, a man who by opposing the cause of Yahawah may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him. And before we get that, we'll even get Isaiah 14. Talks about the king of Babylon. And this, they're known as Lucifer because they bring the light. It's a light on the left hand, it's a dark light. Okay, just like Yahawashi brings the light, he's Lucifer. What? Are you? What? Yeah, he's a light bearer. It simply means light bearer. But it can be applied to the devil or the diabolos because he is bringing the light on the left hand side, the dark light. Isaiah 4:14-4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Lord, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. And if we skip down to Isaiah 14:12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And it talks about how all the nations will rejoice at his fall. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahawah. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north, and that's him trying to sit in the temple. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. Now that's literally, he does that with his damn plane technology. He tries to explore space and do all this shit. Well, it says, I will be like the Most High, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. It says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man? Is this the man of sin? Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of the prisoners? And this is the beast man. This is the guy who's got a number. Well, let's get it. Your brothers never break that bit down. Revelation 13 and 17. And then obviously this is the mark, charagma, is talking about the RFID microchip. And that's what Elon Musk, who is another a diabolical man, even whose working is after Hashatan, the deceiver, to deceive them into taking a chip in their head. It says, Revelation 13 and 16, and the he is going into Mystery Babylon, which is known as the another beast coming up out of the earth, in contrast to the beast that comes out of the sea in verse 1, which is going into Rome, with the 7 heads being NATO and the 10 horns being EU, the European Union. NATO meaning the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Revelation 13 and 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And their foreheads, that's why you try to link us up to the conspiracy stuff, in my opinion, just to try and get people to be dissuaded by it and say, oh, these guys are just some Negroes following after the Q movement. Well, you're just mad because we're not following after E's movement, and we don't follow Q movement, man. It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, which is charagma, or the name of the beast. The name, let's go into the word name. The mark or the name, or noma. It says name of property, name. And when you get, I think I said this yesterday, when you go into a marriage, when a man is to penetrate a woman, his name is put upon her. Alright, his name. So when the charagma is put upon you, that's how you take the name of the beast. Alright, that's how his name gets put upon you. It talks about how the Lord surnamed Jacob. Alright, so Isaiah 45 and 4. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. And to know, I believe that would be the word yedai. Yep, that's the word yedai. It says to know. And let's try and find the one I'm talking about. To know a person carnally. Now what's that talking about? To know a person carnally. I think the first use will be in there you are, Genesis 4 and 1. And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord, from Yahawah. And when it says knew, it doesn't just mean, well, he's met her. When we're talking about know, it means he went in unto her and she conceived. He knew her. He came together, and he said he had sexual intercourse, if you like. He penetrated. He charagmad. He made an incision, if you like, because that's what sex means. Same word as scissors. It means to cut. It means to cut. And that's something Elder Apostle Gabar always goes into. Not always, but he often goes into that. Also in the marriage, if we're talking about Isaiah 54 and 5. For thy Maker is thine husband, the Lord Yahawah of hosts is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the Allah, the power of the whole earth, shall he be called, and he is thine husband. So that's why he put the name on. So the name of the beast is when it is taking the charagma. These things, now the image, that's separate from the mark, but this thing is synonymous, because when you take the mark, you're putting the name on, and the number of his name is dealing with his vibe, his vibration. You go into the word number, is arithmos. That's where you get the term arithmetic or arithmetic. And the number of his name is the vibration of his name, and to have his, what do you call it? Well, yeah, to take his mark. It's really as simple as that. To have his mark is taking the number, the vibration of his name, and it tells you what number that is. It says, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. And you can go into this in a separate... That truly it deserves a whole separate one in itself.
Strong's G5516. Chai, Xi, Stigma.
Right, so it's going to give you... it's not going to... Oh, that's frustrating. It's not giving you the... the meaning of which is the basis of much vain speculation. That's what you think. The you know what, we might let's see what we can draw out of this. The mystical number, which is written Quasar. Nero sees it. Now was he not part of the beast, the first beast, but not the second beast? So you can go into even the capital of this. Joe Biden has that. Joe Biden has this in his name. When you go into a capital, Psi, and stigma means to stick in. Now, what is a? Let's see if we can pull this up. Salakia. Okay. Chai. That's not really giving us much, man. Xmas. Let me find it. Right, so you got the word samech, or we just know it's a sa. It's in the ancient Hebrew. They write Hebrew when they mean modern Hebrew, Phoenician when they mean the ancient. There you are. Our alphabetic derivatives of the Phoenician. And you go into this. There you have the Salakia. It's not the basically. Well, let's look at. I'm everywhere. Bear with me. So it says the Phoenician letter may continue a glyph from Middle Bronze Age alphabets, either based on a hieroglyph for a tent peg or support on what's like something you stick in. Is it not? Is a tent peg not something you stick in? And then it talks about this. Let's see what it says. Both in classical ancient Greek and in modern Greek, the letter that x represents the sound. It's basically, it represents having a stamp upon you. And let's get the Biden thing. It's taking me a while to find. Well, you can sort of see it there, man, but I'd like a better one. There we are. Let's go there. Oh, man. So we're there, went there. Look at that. So that's the Xi. That's the Xi. That's a capital Xi. Now, why would they do that? They know exactly what they're doing with that, man. They know exactly what they're doing with that. The I can't remember if I even mentioned Chai. That's also going into being marked. If you have in algebra, if you have a value, it's a sort of unknown value as well. This is what is commonly known as X today. And if everyone knows about the word stigma, we might have to pull that in the English even. Okay, I can't scroll. Anyway, here you have the word. We'll just get Chai. Chai, 22nd letter of the Greek alphabet, representing ch sound. The letter is shaped like an X, and so the Greek letter name was used figuratively to signify such a shape or an arrangement, as in chiasma, two things placed crosswise, chiastos, arranged diagonally marked with an X, chazien, to mark with an X, to write the letter X. Some dialects use chai to represent the x sound, properly belonging to x. Oh, I don't know how to say that. Then we'll try to get the word zai, or however you say it. We've sort of gone into that Hebraically also, but there's not really much for that. Then you get the word stigma. So stigma is a mark made on skin by burning with a hot iron, from Latin stigma, plural stigmata, from Greek stigma, genitive stigmatos, mark of a pointed instrument, puncture, tattoo mark, brand, from root of stizian, to mark, tattoo, to stick, pointed. See, stick, that's where you get the word stick. Stick, rod, trig, and if I say I stick something in you, what does it mean? I point, like it says I pointed, a pointed instrument going up in you. Now let's get the, let's just pull it up now. I don't have to keep pausing it. Stigma, Greek, Strongs. So this is, obviously they're trying to link us up to this, to push the conspiracy nonsense, to speed up the famine of the word, because he knows that he has a short time, and he is the beast man, and this is the number of it. This is the number of his name. His name is his. Well, we've already said it. Anyway, stigma. I'm just trying to give a synopsis in it to try and draw all things together. But I know I'm sort of all over the place, but I pray what I'm bringing out is of use unto thee. That's a stigma. It says a bed of leaves or rushes. Usage, a mark or brand. That's the usage of it. Let me just pull it up in. Blue letter might bring me to the app. I'll just do that. Oh no. Okay, perfect. Stigma or stegma. It says there. Stigma.
G 4742. Stigma. Stigma.
Stigma again. Stizo, to stick or to prick. So this is what it's all leading up to. All right. All of these things. The famine of the word is going to lead. Why? Because we're getting on him about this, and we're proving it. We're not just making it up. Stigma from a primary, that says stizo, or stizo, to stick, i.e. prick, a mark incised or punched, figuratively scar of service, a mark. The use there is mark. Let's see what we can get. A mark pricked in or branded upon the body, to ancient Oriental usage. Orient meaning the Orient means the East. Slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master. This is what we're telling you, man, about the awl. The awl, how if a man was content to dwell with his master, he would get an awl, and he would stick it through his ear. In certain ones, I think that's Deuteronomy, the 15th chapter. Also, somewhere else, but I can't remember right now. But look up the word awl, A-U-L, in English. That's what it's going into, a left-handed awl, a sinister awl, or commander branded or pricked, in brackets, cut into their bodies. That's an incision, all right, into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. So if you belong to Esau, Edom, and you say, I want to be his slave forever, then you'll take the chip. You'll take the mark, which is the charagma. It's also where you get the term in Latin, character, where you get the term character, which means your impression upon someone. Now that word is literal in its first usage, but then over time, as etymology is important, the truth of logos, the word, truth of the word, is it begin to have a spiritual connotation. Now the charagma is not spiritual, it's physical. It says, and there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. And yeah, you're saying Esau is your god. So got Galatians 6 and 17, from henceforth let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of the Lord Yahawashi. Right, so that's the use of stigma. And we'll just get it one more time just to be very crystal clear, be a broken record about it. Revelation 13 and 16, and he causeth all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the number of, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man, who is that man of sin? It's Esau Edom. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So that's where you get 666, but really it's 666. So that's where it correlates. And when you go into the Greek, that's what we've just touched on. And we'll get my man to read it one more time.
Strong's G 5516. Chai, Xai, Stigma.
Chai, Xai.
Chai, Xai, Stigma.
Chai, Xai, stigma. Alright. So I pray that was edifying. Stay up, keep enduring, watch as well as pray. Okay. So again, pray that was edifying. On to the next one, Lord willing. Giving all praises, honor and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rakha, Kwadash.